Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother who abused me. I talk about schizophrenia, and I wrote a book about my schizophrenic father called Life with My Schizophrenic Father, and the link is down below in the description, so you can purchase that on Amazon. I talk about all my unethical psychologists who sexually exploited me and abused me, and I got the links to all those books too down below in the description. They're all available on Amazon, including all my poetry books as well. And just a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you. All I ask in return of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me. Be kind to other people who comment. Show respect always. We don't need to agree on everything, but we do need to show each other respect and kindness always. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Stick around, take a chance, hit that little box in the lower right-hand corner that says subscribe. That way you'll be notified whenever a new video comes out. It's 100% free, so what do you got to lose? Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with your friends, family on social media. Spread the love all around. And please do comment if you feel free to do so. I love to hear what you're struggling with. I love to hear your opinions, even if you don't agree with me, as long as you're respectful. And today's video is how I learned to love being alone. Okay, I didn't always like being alone. I was very afraid. I didn't like my own company. I always needed other people to validate me. As a species, the human beings are wired to socialize. Because think, if we didn't socialize, then life would no longer exist on this planet. Because in order to procreate, in order for the species to go on, a man must join his body with a woman. So we need each other in order for life to continue. And that is why people need one another, just for the species to continue. But not only that, people look for validation from other people that they don't feel themselves. They need to be validated by family, by friends, by their boss, by their peers, by their colleagues. And sometimes, just speaking for myself, I felt very lonely just being alone. But loneliness, solitude is a state of being alone without feeling lonely. Solitude is a state of being alone without feeling lonely. Let me tell you something. The worst feeling of all is to feel lonely when you're around other people. And this has happened to me countless times, especially with my in-laws, my husband's family. I used to go to all these family events before when I met my husband and we were dating. And I felt so lonely. I felt like I didn't belong there because I would be there and they would just completely ignore me like didn't even exist. I know I told you all about the time that one sister-in-law was on the left of me. I was in the middle at a family function, and another sister-in-law was on the right of me. And the one on the left, the sister-in-law on the left, had a conversation with the one on the right, and I'm in the middle of them, like we're sitting like sitting all together, and it's like I wasn't even there. Like, hello, people. There, I know I mentioned this in another video. I forget which one. But like, they were talking to each other. One's looking this way, leaning over me. Like, I'm not even, you know what I mean? Leaning over me. One's looking that way. One's looking this way. And it's like I'm sitting there. The beauty. I mean, this is my quiet place. It's not quiet. But I love it out here among the trees. I love to do my videos out here. And when I can. When it's too cold, I can't do it. But that's the downside. You're going to have, you know, traffic noise. Because I'm in the city. Anyway, enough of that. So I felt so lonely, and I was surrounded by other people. I was on both sides of me. I was surrounded by my sister-in-laws, and it was like I wasn't even there. But that's just one example. And I never felt good in my own company either. I felt very nervous, and I didn't feel contentment. But let me tell you this, iconic people like Picasso, everyone heard of the painter Picasso? Of course you have. Bill Gates, right? And the Buddhist monks, they all knew the hidden power of solitude. Think about Buddhist monks, think about when meditation. People take retreats. Have you ever gone on a retreat and just where it's all quiet and you have complete solitude and like you're one with nature? I mean, it's very enriching, and you can learn a lot about yourself by being alone. There's lots of hidden talents that we never know, or we'll never find out, we'll never get to know unless we take the time to be by ourselves. You know why? Because when you're alone by yourself, you drown out all the distractions. Okay, maybe this isn't the best example to use because I'm in a rotary, but I love the tree. I love the trees here. I love doing my videos. I mean, I love to be outside and do them. I could be outside on my deck, but then this time I can hear my neighbors blowing the leaves with a big, and that's even more louder, believe me. Those electric leaf blowers, right? That makes more noise than the occasional fire truck or ambulance or whatever, all right? That makes much more noise. You wouldn't even be able to hear me speak at all. And all the leaves are down, and every day my next door neighbor is out with the leaf blower. And why I can, I really enjoy doing it in nature. So, I mean, I'm kind of like a hypocrite saying, you won't have any distractions. But you'll never get to know yourself unless you spend time with yourself, right? And what better person to learn to get to know than you, right? I always say, if you can't be at peace with yourself, alone by yourself, then you're never going to be at peace in other relationships. It's not going to happen. You need to find peace inside of you first, before you can find it out there with someone else. That's what I say. And these great people like the Buddhist monks, they would go in solitude and just, meditate and, take and breathe. And it would really have very deep healing powers, and I recommend it to everyone. I have not been on a solitude retreat, but I do spend quite a amount of time during the day just by myself in nature, because I am a very big person who believes in nature. I'm like Emily Dickinson, all right? I love writing poetry. I write poetry. I've published poetry in magazines and books available on Amazon. My latest poetry book is Inside My Holes. And that's the type of thing you do alone. Just like these videos that I do, these mental health videos, that's it. I'm doing it alone. I'm doing it on my phone, and then I share it. But right now I'm all alone. There's no one here except the cars. I live in Boston, people. If, I'm going to be outside, there's going to be noise. It's not like living in the country. Like I said, even in my own backyard, I own a house. The neighbors are making loud noises with their, the electrical leaf blowers. I can't even hear my own voice, and they have them going on every day because it's the fall. So what can you do that's positive to enjoy your own company? You got to be comfortable in your own skin. Self-reflect is one. A lot of self-reflection, introspection into, your life. What do you like to do? Ask yourself these questions when there's no one else around. What are some of your favorite hobbies? It's never too late to learn something. You could learn piano, you could learn guitar, you could take drawing classes, painting classes, and what I really, when I go out in these Audubon, I'm a member of the Mass Audubon Society. We pay a yearly membership, me and my husband. I highly recommend it. I don't know how much it costs, but then you get to go to all these Audubon places for free. And if you go enough times, it certainly pays the membership and then some. And I love seeing the animals, the beavers, the otters, the swans, the lakes, the ponds, and I love walking on boardwalks in the woods, out on the farm, in the country. It's just gorgeous, and I really feel at peace. All the anxiety just like slides off my body. And oftentimes when I go, I see these painters, they're out there in nature. I saw an old, not too elderly, maybe a man in his 60s or something, and he had his easel going, and he was sitting quiet, and I hated to walk by and disturb him. I really did. And I looked behind him. I tiptoed behind him, and I walked very slowly, and I saw, wow, the painting he was painting of the lake and the clouds. It was gorgeous. It was so gorgeous, and he was just sitting there in quiet contemplation and painting. So you can really find a lot of useful things to do when you're self-reflecting. Another important thing when you're alone is taking good care of yourself. Self-care is very important. I spend a lot of time alone exercising every day. I do crunches. I lift weights. I don't go to the gym anymore. I told you on another video that I had a membership to Planet Fitness, and I used to go every day. But now I just do it down in my basement. I have a furnished basement downstairs, and I do my exercises down there with some headphones on, some music, so I don't disturb my husband and son, because they both work at home, so I don't want to disturb them. And I put my headphones and music on, and I take some self-care. Maybe, cook yourself a good meal, good nutritious food. What you put into your body is what is going to come out of your body. Just preparing good nutritious food. People think that nutritional food tastes disgusting. They'd rather eat a bag of chips or something, or a carton of gallon of ice cream or something. But you know what? There's a lot of great, delicious food out there that you can prepare that just tastes, I love it. I love it. You can just Google that up and find something, and it's not difficult or hard, because I hate to cook, okay? I hate it. Even a fresh pizza. with veggies or something, and sauce and cheese. You got your food groups. You can put your chicken. You got your meat group, your bread group from the dough. You got your milk and cheese group from the cheese you put on there, and your vegetables, the vegetable group. And you see what I'm saying? You can have a delicious pizza that you made in like 10 minutes, and it's good for you. And it's more than that, you love it. It tastes great. So taking, the good care of yourself is another thing, self-care. And then another thing about being alone that's great is just to have fun, all right? Let me tell you what I do when I'm alone having fun. I can act like a big goof. And no one's gonna see it. I can sing, I can splash in the puddles, and I do this when it rains. There's big puddles, and I can dance. I can dance and splash and sing in the puddles and look like a big goof. And I don't care, because you know what? No one's around to judge me. No one's around to criticize me and tell me, you can't sing, you can't dance. You know what? I'll do what I damn well please. I used to love doing my karaoke's. I used to love dressing up. I love to dress up. You know what I did last weekend? I went to Spirit Halloween in Natick. I love Spirit Halloween. That was the closest one to where I lived. There used to be one in Dedham, and I was so upset that it's no longer there, so I had to go all the way to Natick. And I had so much fun. I dressed up in costumes. I took pictures. I danced around the store and took selfies of me in all these different costumes. Like what do I do? A couple of like mobster people or mafia people with the big fur coats and the big fur hats, and then one with a big gold and black jacket and satin hat. And it was just so cool. I love doing that stuff, and I love singing, And some of the songs I think are pretty well. Not all of them, I can't sing everything, But I just play. Be young at heart, You can do this stuff when you're alone, and I just think it's awesome. I love to read. I spend a lot of time reading. I go to the library and have some quiet time because, like I said, my husband and son both work at home, and every time I'm at home, they always come out and start talking to me. This happens all the time. Both of them come out and talk to me. So I go somewhere very quiet, like the library, take a book out, sit down, and spend a good hour. I give myself a good hour a day, and I read. Reading is very enriching. You learn a lot from reading, better than and that hour, I have my head in the book. I'm not on any cell phone or laptop or computer at all. That is the time of day that I spend educating myself in the library and reading. And I do these things in the morning too. I spend time alone writing my poetry. I love writing poetry, and I do it early. I wake up at 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5. Like 4:30, I wake up early in the morning, and I go to my computer when it's really quiet. It's pitch dark outside, and I write. You don't have to be a poet. You can journal. Write like in a diary. Write about what you're interested in. You could self-publish it and make money on it off of Amazon. There's lots of things you can do alone that don't require other people. And I'm not telling you to be a hermit. I'm not telling you to go to Mount Everest and pop a tent, But what I'm trying to say is solitude is very important for all of us, Being comfortable here in your own skin, finding out more about yourself. And this is what I've learned in my 50s. I found out I've learned a lot about myself in my 50s. Things I never did before, I'm learning. I never knew I could make a video. I never knew I'd have over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, that I'd be making money. Not much money yet, but I'm hoping that I build up my channel each and every day. if I put in the work, I put in the effort. And I never knew I could write poetry until I was, in my 40s. I never wrote poetry in my 20s or 30s. It wasn't until I was, in my 40s, almost 50, really. I was in my late 40s. And, for once in my life, I really enjoyed nature. I have the Arnold Arboretum is practically on my back doorstep. I can walk there, So even though I'm very much in the city, I have a lot of, the emerald necklace. I have a lot of nature surrounding me, and I take advantage of that. I take advantage of that every single day, to be in one with nature, and this is where I find solitude. And when you have solitude, you don't feel lonely because you have yourself, you have your own company, and you learn to appreciate yourself, and you learn to appreciate your own company. Like I said, if you're not at peace with yourself and happy with you and love yourself, you're not going to be at peace with anyone else or happy with anyone else. But how can you, So I hope this video has given you some pointers about, how to find solitude, how to, love yourself, and feel good in your own company, and that other people can make you even more lonely. Just having people around, like I said with my in-laws, doesn't mean that you're not going to be lonely. That's the worst kind of loneliness of all there is to me, to feel, like you're nothing with other people around. I've often felt that way with girlfriends too, like a third wheel. You ever have that, a group of girls, and you're the odd one out, the other girls are talking, and you're like, just there, and they wouldn't even notice if you walked away. It's like, what are you doing there? So let me know what you think. I feel free to comment and let me know how you are when you're alone. What do you accomplish? I know I have some people here who are other YouTubers who do their own thing. Some are musically inclined. This one woman plays guitar and sings, and I think she's great. I have other people who talk about mental health too. They have their own mental health channel. They're not psychiatrists or psychologists, but they do that too. I have people that are artists. I have people that do woodworking. I have so many subscribers myself that, it's just nice to see other people being comfortable putting what they have to share out to the public like I do. All right, till next time, you have a great day.